Hello everyone, hope everyone is well. Welcome back to another video here at Financial Hub. It's Caleb today, and I'll be doing your market analysis for this week. Just looking at what we're looking at on the dollar pairs, what has just happened in the Bank of Japan. If you look at the Japanese yen, it's sort of weakening today as they reduce their interest rates. No, I mean, as they increase the interest rates from negative 0.1 to positive 0.1 after 17 years of it being at negative interest rates. So I'm not a Japanese yen trader that much, but we're global traders. So you look at global markets, understand what's going on, try and figure out what's going on with the Bank of Japan, the country, the economy, the reasons why they're increasing, because markets are so more or less the same across the board. Sawa. But first, before I get into that, I'd like to show you my journal for this month. Haven't had the best of trades so far. This is the month of March, so a bit of my wins and losses. You can see my account is a bit down. I've not had a winning trade this month. You can see I lost 1% here. This is my $100,000 account. Like I said, I'll be keeping you updated with my $100,000 account, which more or less across the board, the same things are happening, okay? So I'm down 1% here, down another 1% here, another 1% here. So you can see combine that's down 3%, then over here almost 4%. Total my account is down almost 5%. So you can see here my account is down $5,000, about 5%, 44% win rate, still a good average win to loss ratio. Okay, best trade here, worst trade, still keep it at 1%. That's my worst trade. And this is also a bit with slippages. I always risk $1,000 or less per trade, but sometimes you can get a bit of slippage or some things like that. So my worst trade, Kabisa, has just been 1,100 on a total of 25 trades, meaning I have about maybe 10 wins, 12 losses. I mean, 10 wins, 15 losses. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know the 44%. Oh, here it is. 11 wins, 14 losses, which is normal. At least still trying to keep it afloat. Out of this, a lot of profits I've been able to take them out. I've been showing you my payouts in the previous videos. So part of the money I've been able to take it out. Then now markets have gone a bit down with that win rate. So yeah, so this is normal. I've gone through this before. It's not a lot of people are normally like, wow, you're losing a whole month. We talked in our podcast, if you watched, it's actually coming up. Okay, now let me not talk about it. It's actually not out. There's a podcast that's coming out tomorrow. Make sure to watch it. We've talked about the dollar and the Kenya shilling and also our personal trading and how it's performing and all that. So I've gone through this before. I wanted to share with you here. November 2023, I had the similar back-to-back weeks that I was just losing. I lost here 2% in one trade. Over here, I remember I had those crazy slippage. I risked 1%, but what happened? Market ended up hitting me out and taking me out double the pip distance that I'd risked. So taking me out 2%. Then you can see I cut down on my risk on the next trades, started risking 0.5%, lost this week, lost this week, lost. So combined here was down about, this was 2%, this combines about 1%, so that's 3%. Then combined here, that's down 4%. And then the next week on a Monday, made 5% return, and then I lost another 1%. So for that month, was a break even. But you can see, for me, what I really rely on is trusting in the system, trusting in yourself, and trading it. My risk rewards are quite good, so I tend to get trades that can really push me back up strongly when I get a good trade running. And I made this 5% on a 0.5 risk. So I've taken two trades, each risking 0.5, 0.5. So each of them returned me about 2.5%. And that's why I jumped up to that level. And then the next trade I risked now about a percentage, ended up losing. Then yeah, the next month now is up profitable. The next trade I made about 3,000, 3%, so it was up percentage-wise. Then I came and lost 1.5, 1, so it's down negative 1.5 plus negative 2, so it's down 2.5%. So out of this $3,000, I lost another 2,500. So I was up $500. Then before the month ended, I made about 6.5%. which is plus $6,500 plus the 500 that I'd made here. So it's up $7,000 by the end of December. So yeah, so that's what happened. So as I get into this losing streak back to back, it's normal. It's can't complain about it. It's just a matter of being able to mitigate your risk, take care of your downside. Okay, that's very, very important. Take care of your downside no matter what. Don't be overconfident. Like over here, I'll talk about these two trades that I had running. Currently, you can see here I had about 4 trades on this day, but I just lost $900. Okay, so that was great risk management. I had a strong, I was very bullish on gold. So I had a couple of trades on gold running. I was very dollar short, but that same day, PPI came out and the markets ended up turning, and I managed my risk that day and switched off the laptop for that week. You can see I didn't lose anything again after that losses. Okay, so having 4 trades and only losing one, because all these trades are risked about a percentage. So I was able to break even on some, and some I got some losses, some I exited along the way. So that's normal. So this is just to show you that it's not all wins and losses. It's not all wins all the time. Sometimes you get losses, sometimes you get winners. It is what it is. So the last 2 months was up profitable. The month of you can see here, the month of this is when February, I was up profitable. January as well, I was up profitable to end the month. But this is usual, so we move on regardless and wait for the next opportunity, and we trade it regardless. So if I come down back to the markets, just to show you what I'm looking at, I took some losses. I had some Aussie dollar longs, and now it's quite bearish. I'll talk about this, but I had some Aussie dollar longs. I trade the flags a lot, so I had a flag here. You can see here's where I took an entry. I had a steep good flag. I got a good flag, good entry around this level here. You can see that. I got an entry here. I was looking for markets to go a bit higher, but you can see today we had interest rates. Okay, so if you talk about the here we go. If you look at the cash rate today, early in the morning, 6:30 a.m., Aussie dollar, Reserve Bank of Australia maintained the interest rates at 4.35%. And then the Bank of Japan, 6 minutes later, ended up increasing their interest rates from negative 0.1% to positive 0.1%. Okay, so this data out of the Australian dollar brought in some volatility. Market sort of spiked to the upside, then sort of just fell down. And I took my loss there. I had my entries. My stop loss was just below this support level, and it was taken out at the 65.30. So which is normal, and that's how I got that loss. Okay. And then I had another trade which I cut my losses early because markets aren't looking quite favorable. Is this USD card? Okay, I had a flag as well. I had a short trade here. Okay, so I had this trade here. So I took this trade yesterday. Markets consolidated quite a bit, still looking for bearish momentum, but you can see market was unable to break this level. You see this support level, so I always respect level. So it's resisting that resistance, support level, resistance, support level. So as market was dangling around here, now this candlestick here, this 4-hour candlestick close is for me a very bullish close. This is a very strong bullish signal. Like you can see all these previous candlesticks were spiking, 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 not being able to close above as well as to the downside, spiking, 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 not being able to close below. So as market came and closed above here, this candlestick here, now that was my signal. I cut my losses immediately. Now this one I took a small loss. I've taken about a 0. It's a very small, like 0.5%, even I think 0.4, because my stop loss was a bit, I took my entry at around 40. I remember it was around this candlestick here. As it closed here, somewhere here, okay. Stop loss was at 70, okay, so my stop loss was at 70 up here, and my targets were down here. So here, so you can see I'm not taking a big loss. Market hadn't really moved even to 0.5 of my loss. So I cut that loss. It's all about cut your losses. Take care of your downside fast. You can always come back into the markets. Don't be emotional. Because I really needed a win. Like I was looking for a win so that I can take my accounts back up. But you can see how I control this risk. cut that loss very, very fast. Controlling these two trades, only losing $700 on both trade setups. So I'm out of this trade. Markets can continue to move up. So now we can do sort of a market analysis now, just to give you an update of what is happening. You can see here, markets could possibly cause, I changed my bias. I thought market had created sort of a double top here, continuation to the downside. And yes, that quite happened. Okay, markets moved to the downside. So if you sold here, there's good money that was made till here. But you can see here, we also got sort of a double bottom correction. Markets could possibly still be in an uptrend. We haven't broken structure on the bigger time frame, and that's the same thing we're looking at on the Aussie dollar. Markets could have created a double top here. You can see this level, a double top in the form of a flag. So this was a flag pattern. If you look closely, now this could have been a good trade, and this is where you keep learning, you keep improving, you keep learning. So what I was looking at here and what I didn't see before, you can see here as market was moving to the downside, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So for me, why I changed the bias was because this previous lower high here, okay, had been broken. Market had broken above it, corrected to this level, then gone higher. So for me, markets were starting to form higher highs, higher lows, higher high, and I was expecting a potential higher low and markets to move further up. But what happened instead, if you take a look closer, markets came and rejected two important levels. This was the previous resistance level, and this was the previous support level. So market came and rejected the higher level, more or less pushing to the upside, getting much better liquidity. Okay, this was a liquidity point, and if you push it further, you can get to see that this is a strong liquidity point that market tapped into, okay, and closed below this resistance level. Okay, so those are two levels that were hit at the same time. First level, then the second level. Then if you follow the next day's candlestick, what was happening in the markets, because the candlestick basically tells us what is happening in the market. Market was unable to go above this level. You can see sort of here we had a bearish close. Markets came and tapped, trying to close above, came back below, came back again, a bullish candlestick and closed below. Then we tapped here again and closed here. So this all was a bearish indication, indicating that this flag was being respected and potentially markets could still be in a downtrend. You can see now market is strongly moving to the downside. Okay, so I didn't get quite to see that, but for those who trade my strategy and for my students, KST community, learn from that. So I learned from that. So I took an L there. I just lost 0.5% on that trade, at least maximum. There's some trades that I've lost 1%. I had different risks. The more my account goes down, because my account's at different levels, the more I cut down on my risk. Okay. So I'll be sitting down out of the markets. I really want to understand what is happening, get a good indication of where markets are going, but they look quite bearish, especially for today. If market is able to close below this level, you can see it's quite support level, resistance level, resistance. Now you see that it closed above and markets continue to the upside. If market is able to close below this level today, then this could be a very strong bearish indication for markets to go to the downside. And I'll be looking for corrections along the way to sell the markets further. So you adapt to the markets. Don't be too attached to the direction, to the trades that you have, and don't hope on your losses. Cut your losses, like what I did with USD CAD. I entered at 40, came out at 50. That was a 10 pip stop loss. Cut your losses as soon as possible. Stay out of the markets, get a clear picture. You can always come back in with a clearer perspective. So yeah, so I had those two trades, USD CAD. Markets could potentially still be in an uptrend, especially if you close above this level, then markets could long-term be in an uptrend. Now, if you look at the 4-hour chart, those are things I want to be observing and see what will happen in the markets in the long term. Currently, we're closing above this level. Okay, it was a support. So this strong break, I was still very bearish on it. But the fact that market is pushing up above this level, for those people who trade, this is an impulse correction, impulse, sort of a correction. Now markets are moving further up and could continue pushing to the upside. So staying out of those trades, looking at Aussie dollar, look at that sell-off, okay? So cut out of that loss, taking a loss today, and we move on regardless. We look for better trades in the future. USD dollar, rising dollar. As I was taking my bearish trades on this one, I was looking for this one to continue falling. Now I had a trend line here, sort of here, okay? So there's quite some indications. So there's this sort of a flag pattern, So you can see this sort of a flag pattern. I was looking for markets to get resistance here. So as I was selling the USD card, and as I was buying the Aussie dollar, I was looking for the USD to also drop. But you can see we strongly broke above this level. There's this resistance level that market is currently closing above. So that's why I wrote here. Now a change in bias, a rising dollar. Okay, markets could be in a strong uptrend and could continue moving to the upside. Okay, because we had a bigger flag correction here, market respecting this one. You see that? Sort of that pattern, a big picture flag correction. So flags, it depends on the direction you're looking at. You can see this one has been respected. Okay, you can see market has corrected to that level. You can see this 3 touch of this candlesticks touch here, and markets are pushing to the upside. So this could continue, potentially continue rising. So that's why I stayed out of that trade. We can always look for a better trade. So, but this week I might be staying out. I don't see any setups forming, but it's still early. Today's Tuesday. There's still a lot of potentials later in the week to get maybe dollar buys to the upside. So that's what's happening on this one. Looking at the daily chart, markets are bullishly rising. You can see here we got sort of a double here, not really a double top, because I was looking for markets to move to the downside. Okay, look, lower low, lower high, lower low. I was looking for potential lower high. So for me, what I'm watching today is to see if markets will be able to get close above this level. You see this resistance level. So I'm just watching candlesticks, markets close above that level, or any level. Even if it closes below anything, I'll be waiting to see what market will tell me, and then I'll take a trade after I understand what's happening in the markets. Okay. On gold, last week I was looking for gold trade buys. I was strongly long at some level. I remember I got a good trade buy here. Okay, so I was looking for a trade buy here. Markets had moved up quite strongly, and then later on markets really fell, and they came out at break even after markets had moved here. I remember there was one of my accounts, one of my other accounts was up profitable, one of my live accounts, and I could have banked that trade, okay, and taken a good profit on that one. I won't mention how much I had, but market had really moved a good amount, and I could have taken profit. But what happened instead? Markets came back down, broke even. So I moved from profits to negative 3% because that account now is down 3%. But it is what it is. Because my system, I'm following the system. If the system trade actually worked, I would have made a very good profitable trade on that one. But what happened instead, from profits, from a good amount of profits to negative, which is fine, which is normal. I take the L, and then we look for more better opportunities. So I'm looking at this one, looking at a daily chart perspective. Markets could continue to fall. You can see here I'm saying potential supports at this previous week high, but also markets could potentially move lower. When I'm trading gold, I'm not the best when it comes to new levels, new all-time highs. Okay, unless I bought here and was just holding it running, that's fine, because when you have a trade running, the best you can do is trade management. But other than that, as market was consolidating here, I have nothing much. It's in new highs, so I'm looking for levels of support and resistance and such stuff. So I'm just going with the flow of the market. So on gold, I'm really skeptical, sitting out a bit, just understanding what is happening. As we're in a new level, markets could strongly correct back below. Because one thing I like doing is looking at the 1-week chart, giving you a good indication, because we had a strong bearish close last week, and markets could potentially close below. You could even get potential sales markets coming back below till this level. Okay, it is what it is. Anything can happen in the market. So that's a strong drop from all the way from where we are back to 2075. You could see that drop, but also you could see markets holding around here because this was a strong move, just a small minor correction, then markets continue moving to the upside. But anyway, we'll wait and see. When you're trading the Forex market, try not to be a forecaster, try not to be someone who's predicting where markets are going, and be more of a person who's responding to what the market is telling you. So as market forms patterns, signals that you trade, respond to that instead of trying to say, I expect markets to go back to 2000, all that. Anything can happen. So you'll never hear me saying those things. I trade probabilities, and when I get a trade, it's just that I'm holding that, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be a winner. Okay, anything can happen in the markets. So just looking across the board on other pairs that I don't trade, but what is currently happening, Euro USD also has been in a downtrend for the past few days after getting a strong bullish run. Okay, so together with the dollar, so I was looking for this one to also rally. I remember I was looking for a flag pattern here for markets to continue moving up, but you can see markets are more bearish than they are bullish. Okay, so that's what's also happening on the Euro USD markets. If they're able to close below this resistance support level, then markets could continue moving lower. GBP USD also falling off the sky. I was looking for potential flag also on this one, did not happen. Markets are in a downtrend, massive downtrend. USD JPY markets are off the roof. Okay, the moon is the target. Okay, not literally, but anyway, they're on a bullish run. Potentially a target could be here, and even you could see markets moving higher. Like this move just started after the news, and if the yen is really weakening and across the board, because if you look at Euro JPY, you could see that markets are also strongly bullish going back to previous high. Okay, so markets could break above. If you look at GBP, JPY, also markets are really rallying to the upside. Okay, so yeah, so that's usual happens in the markets. Markets always move in the path of least resistance. So the least resistance on the yen is to the upside on this USD JPY, GBP JPY, Euro JPY to the upside. The trend is your friend. Okay, look at the trend. The trend is still your friend. So markets are moving in the direction of the trend. They're not just moving up. If you look at the big picture, you can see this market has been forming higher highs, higher lows, and I'm strong on the trend. Look at that. The trend is your friend. I'd rather lose trading in the direction of the trend than lose trying to catch a top or a bottom. Okay, so you can see here markets are still rallying. If you look at USD JPY, markets have been in an uptrend. Here, look at that big picture here. Markets are in an uptrend, still forming. This was a big deep correction. Okay, but markets actually got support here, what basically I call a double bottom in the direction of the trend. So that's in the uptrend, a double bottom in an uptrend. I've talked about this in a previous video. And if you look at GBP, JPY as well, you can see that markets are bullish in an uptrend. Okay, so you can look at that. Markets are still rallying to the upside. Was it this one that was looking at? Was Euro JPY? Both of them. Okay, so both of them all in an uptrend. So part of this resistance is to the upside. Commodities, gold, oil, the black. This one had a very good flag pattern here last week. This was a good flag pattern. I don't trade this pair, but it was a very good pattern as it was moving to the upside. And we all know that USD CAD is a commodity pair correlated to the oil. And that's why I was bearish on it, because also this one was bullish. So you can find out that this one worked, but the other one didn't work, which is normal. And this one market has been moving to the upside. It is what it is. Don't really get attached to it. But anyway, I don't talk too much. So yeah, so I just wanted to update you on my trades. I'm down 5%. Sooner or later I'll be up. It's normal. Most of you are also in a down, in a drawdown. So maybe this can give you also understanding that you're not the only one who's losing. We all lose and we all make the money back. Okay, so I'll be sitting down, get good analysis, good direction of the trend. I really want to get a good perspective of the direction and then get good flag patterns, because you can get some flag patterns like here. Like I was bullish on the Euro USD, but there was a flag that formed here on the 1 hour chart, which ended up working here. So you can see this one. So leave this one alone. So you can see this flag pattern, sort of impulse correction. Markets came back to this level here. Okay, got a rejection. You can see that sell, and markets have been to the downside. Yeah, smaller flags here forming. You won't find me trading this small, really small flag. I think this is the smallest I can trade, but these smaller ones that form like this one, still a flag, yes. But you'll find me trading really these small ones. This you find like it has a 5 pip stop loss. Those are too risky for me, so I don't trade such. But this is also a flag. You can see markets are forming to the downside. So yeah, so that's what happened on this one. We'll continue to analyze the market, see what's happening, see what opportunities are there. I can currently see Aussie dollar strongly falling. So yeah, cut my loss on that one. Move on to the next opportunity. USD CAD also rising to the upside. Cut my loss on that one. Stay out, understand what's happening. You can always come back in. So let me end it at there. Don't say too much. I think I've done a quite lengthy video, but I've explained a lot. and I'll be back to explain more. Keep you guys updated, show you what's happening in the markets, more market analysis. Keeping it simple. Simplicity is the best approach that you can always apply in the Forex market. So love you all. See you soon. And as I always say, stay woke, stay financially literate. May the peeps be with you. See you soon. Peace.